Hey, what's up? This is Chosen, and this video is going to be a champion guide over Valla, so let's get into it. Alrighty, so Valla is actually a content drop for Amazon Prime that just happened recently. You can also get her normally from, shards as an epic champion, but she was a content drop for Amazon Prime. So if you do have Amazon Prime, you probably got her recently, and I wanted to get a guide out kind of talking about Valla in general. So let's go ahead and pull her up here. Barbarian, epic, on the far right, defense. So as always, for my champion guides, down in the video description, I will have one of these little hero charts, or infographics as I call them, where it kind of shows the grades that I gave them, the optimal stats, and the masteries I'm currently using on them. But I'll go over that in a little bit when I pull them up, and just kind of puts everything in one place. You can see the 10 books on the top left. I'll show the booking process of my Valla, so you can kind of see how I do it when it comes to her. And yeah, we'll put that away for now, but that'll be down in the video description. And let's go over the kit here. We've got a 99 base speed, which is pretty good for an epic champion. A multi-hit A1 that increases the inflicted damage by 15% if the target is under a shield buff. Now, the cool thing about Valla is she's a defense champ, so all of her abilities are going to scale with defense. But this is an A1 that has a qualifier. It's not going to be super valuable, but it is a multi-hitter based on defense, so it's okay. Then we've got the A2 is remove all shield buffs on all enemies, then attacks all enemies with a 30% chance of placing a 60% decreased defense debuff on all enemies for 2 turns, but we can actually book that up to a 50%. So books are very impactful on Valla. And then we've got place a shield buff on this champion for 3 turns, equal to 20% of their max HP. Also places a 60% increased defense buff on this champion for 3 turns and fills this champion's turn meter by 50%. So shields and defense are really going to be the theme with Valla, and that'll help her, the passive here, decrease the damage received by this champion by 15% while under a shield. She places her own shield, so she should be very tanky and decrease the defense of your enemies and do a decent amount of damage. So not a bad epic. And then we've got increased ally resist in the arena by 45. As we kind of shift in raid, resistance is coming a little bit more of a desirable stat than it used to be, so this aura is getting a little bit better with time. But yeah, all in all, a pretty solid kit. And is she worth 6-starring and maxing out? I kind of said in one of my previous videos, it really depends on your account. I think she can be a pretty good champion for newer players. She's a pretty good drop to get if you're a newer player from the Amazon Prime, because she's a defense champion, damage dealer, debuffer. She's not super meta like in the end game in a lot of different areas, but she can be a decent damage carry and pair well with lifesteal, sustain herself with shield and everything. And I'll actually show you my Valla, and then I'll go over her in like the campaign, kind of show her as a damage dealer and all of that. So alrighty, here is Valla, and you can see the gear I have on her. Speed, defense, lifesteal's okay on her, but she can be a little bit tough to gear because you want defense and you also kind of want to have her do damage. So crit chance, crit damage, speed, accuracy. She kind of needs a lot of different things. So many different ways to build her. You can see the gear that I have here. I'll kind of go over it. Some people like to see the individual pieces, but we're looking for a good blend of, like I said, speed, defense, accuracy, and you want her to be landing the decreased defense, and you want her kind of going early in your rotation so that she can lower the defense for the enemies and let people behind her hit a little bit harder. So building good speed on her and giving her lifesteal, she can sustain herself with all the shield, and lifesteal can be pretty good as well. I'll show you the jewelry here. And I'll show you the total stats in case you want to see kind of, now I didn't super go hard on min-maxing mine. I built her kind of in a realistic way that most of you would be able to get this, these numbers. The 4K defense, pretty good, 200 speed, crit damage, 124. It's obviously not amazing, but this is kind of, a base level, gold 4 end game type Valla. And then the masteries here. So a lot of different ways you can go on the masteries here for Valla. Sniper is pretty impactful on her because remember, we can't get her decreased defense to be 100%. So that's actually very important for her. That 5% can make that a little bit more consistent. So this is the route I went. Later in the stages of the game, level 20s and against really good champions in the end game, Helmet Smasher becomes more and more impactful. So I went that route and kind of built her to really do well as a damage carry and kind of a tanky damage dealer for faction wars. Is kind of the route I went with her on here. And I will show you her in the campaign, she can actually be a decent campaign farmer. And she's Spirit, so that we can go Spirit, you know, 12-3. And this is kind of, you get to see her in 12-3 and kind of see how her kit goes. See, she does kill the first wave there. And then it'll get a little bit slower. I expect her run to be about 25 seconds. But yeah, in terms of a champion that you can get for free from Twitch Prime or out of shards as an epic, and I have 0 books on her as of now. So I will show you the booking process here in a second, but as of now, 0 books, 23 seconds, 12-3 brutal farmer, without like god unattainable gear or anything. So pretty cool there. And I'll show you the booking process on her, because I'm gonna book her for Faction Wars. So we go upgrade skills, and we don't really need to max out the A1. We're kind of looking for the cooldown on the A2 and the cooldown here. The passive doesn't get any levels, so we don't want to do more than 3 books, I don't think. I'm going to save the Valla I have just in case they ever use it as like a fusion. It's always a good, you know, plan to keep at least 1 copy of every epic. Now, rares and stuff, there's an argument to be made. If you're really running out of vault space, you can start crunching them. But for your epics, you typically want to save at least 1 copy. So what we're going to do is do 3. And we don't want to, so I'm going to do 2. Because if I do 3, there's a chance that I'll max out this A1. So I'm going to do 2 at a time now and kind of see if I can get both those cooldowns. All right, so we didn't get the cooldown there. Okay, so 2 again. Yep. And very good. That's perfect. That went very well. We only wasted 1 book on the A1, and then we got the cooldown, and we got the cooldown. So we were able to escape with 7 books and basically get the Valla how we want her to perform. So I'll go ahead and I'll kind of show you her in a normal. She's actually pretty good in the Magic Keep. Well, let me slot her in here and see what she can do. She is affinity countered, which is unfortunate, but let me slot her in. And see how she does with the see how she deals with the shield. See if we can get her to remove that shield. This is my first time kind of using her here. This actually wasn't the Magic Keep wasn't open like 5 minutes ago. It must have just come open because I'm recording my video kind of right after the daily reset. Let's see if we can get her to remove that shield from the Magic Keep. Okay, she buffed herself and then Kaimar removed it. But if I didn't have Kaimar in the group, she'd be pretty good here because she would, you know, drain the shield of the magic boss, and we'd be able to do a pretty good run with her. The affinity counter is a little bit unfortunate, but, you know, she's still going to remove the shield just fine and do pretty well in the Magic Keep. So I will also show you kind of a normal dungeon and just kind of show her performing again. Slot her in. The Arcane Keep is a pretty standard dungeon, and you can see there, I mean, she hits decent. Nothing amazing. She did the self buff there. The self buff again. And that was pretty good. She hit pretty hard there. And we can see she did almost 300,000 damage, so she's keeping up with one of my Royal Guards. So yeah, not bad for a defense champion that can buff themselves. And one more thing, let's show her kind of in the arena. Now, one thing I did notice a little bit about her AI, it can be a little bit wonky at times, and she won't do the ability that you want her to do, which is kind of a bummer. This is kind of just a team I threw together to kind of show Valla so we get the Arbiter boost. She wouldn't really be great in this type of team, but it's just to kind of show how she would perform. So now typically, we're going to want to do this. We're going to want to use her as a way to set up a nuker, like a Skull Crown or something. So, you know, we can see that they have, if we pull up the info, we can see they have the shield buffs. So this is a good team to show. And then we can use this ability here, and boom. She just removed all the shields, and then she landed her decreased defense on 2 of them, and now boom, our Skull Crown can hit exceedingly hard. So that's kind of how she can synergize and do pretty well in the arena. The shield set is pretty popular, and she can kind of slot in, wipe those shields, decrease the defense, and really set up a nuker. So for a lot of you out there, Valla could actually do pretty well in the arena. Alrighty, and one thing I like to do is go over the and show kind of everything in game here and kind of grade her. Recommended artifacts, defense and HP. I'd probably recommend like defense and speed or something, or defense and accuracy, something like that. But whatever, it's not too far off. Arena offense, she can set up a nuker. As an epic, I'll give her a 5. Campaign, I'll give her a 4. Arena defense, 4. Minnow, she's fine. Clan boss, pretty bad. She does have the decreased defense, but we're going to go there with a 2. Magic Keep, I'll give her a 4. She removes the shield, but she is affinity countered, so I can't give her a 5. Spider Den, she's not going to be very great. Let's go there. Dragon, she should do fine. Fire Knight, she has a multi-hit A1, decreased defense, but nothing super. We'll give her a 3. Force Keep, she counters the affinity. We'll give her 5. Ice Golem, sure, she'll do fine there in most scenarios. Spirit Keep, 4. She doesn't have like a heal reduction or anything super great to give her a 5. And Void Keep, she would do just fine. Not pictured here as Faction Wars. She's actually very good for Faction Wars because Barbarians are a little bit sparse and can be tough to build a good team. You can put her in Lifesteal, and if you 6-star her, she'll be a very good kind of tanky damage dealer for Faction Wars. And the Arcane Keep is also not shown here, but she would be a 5 there. So let's submit that. And yeah, and remember, the infographic is down in the video description, and that is that pulled up there. That will be down there for you to click on. And yeah, that kind of does it for this guide on Valla. So all in all, a pretty good champion for you early to mid-game players, even kind of transitioning into the end game, and very good for Faction Wars. Now, is she 6-starable? Worth booking and all of that really depends on where you're at in your account and if you're going to be using her in Faction Wars to kind of, you know, carry your team and be your tanky damage dealer. So it can kind of depend, but all in all, she's a decent epic and a decent drop from Amazon Prime. So yeah, let me know what you think down in the comments, and as always, thank you for watching. Have a good rest of your day. Peace.